Subtracting fractions. When we're adding and subtracting fractions, you must have common denominators. Okay? Let's remember, when we have a fraction, the numerator is on top, the denominator is on bottom. Okay? So if I had 3/4, the numerator is equal to 3, and the denominator is equal to what? 4. Okay? So when I'm taking fractions, and for example, I have 1/10 plus 8/10. Okay? The denominator, in this case 10, must be the same on both fractions. If it is not, I must create fractions with a common denominator. Okay? In this case, they are already the same. So I simply take 1 plus 8 on top and 10 on bottom. You do not add the bottom number. I repeat, you do not add the bottom number. Okay? 1 plus 8 is 9, so that makes 9/10. And that is your answer. You must reduce the fraction if it can be reduced. This particular fraction cannot be reduced. Okay, because there's no common factors between 9 and 10. Brandon? Yep. All right, so let's look at this one. Let's say we have 4/7 plus 5/7. Okay, are the denominators the same? Yes, and so that makes 4 plus 5 on top, 7 on bottom. 4 plus 5 is 9/7. Now, 9/7 is an improper fraction that I must convert to a mixed number. And to do that, we simply take 7 and divide it into 9. 7 goes into 9 one time, be 7, remainder 2. Take that 2 and put it over the 7. So we have 1 and 2/7. And that is your answer. So what if we are subtracting 3/5 minus 1/5? I already have common denominators, 5, so I don't have to do anything to the fraction. I simply take and subtract 3 minus 1 over 5. What is 3 minus 1? 2. Not adding, subtracting. 2/5. 8/9 minus 2/9. Okay, do they have common denominators? Yes. So I just have 8. I have 8 minus 2 on top, the common denominator of 9 on bottom. 8 minus 2 is what? 6. Is there a common factor between 6 and 9? What is it? 3. So I divide by 3 to the top and to the bottom. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 3 goes into 9 3 times for 2/3. All right, let's say we don't have common denominators. So we have 11 over 12 minus 3 over 4. So I must find the common denominator known as the LCD or LCM 24, 12, and 4. So in other words, if I'm counting by 12s, 12, 24, 36, 48, and I'm counting by 4, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, what's the first number I run into? 12. So the common denominator then is 12 for both of these fractions. So now I'm going to make equivalent fractions with the LCD. So, what did I do to 12 to make it 12? Multiplied by 1. So I do the same thing to the top. Means I have 11. What did I do to 4 to make it 12? Multiplied by 3. So I do the same thing to the top, which makes that 9. So now that I have common denominators, I'll have 11 minus 9 over 12. 11 minus 9 is what? 2 over 12. Can you reduce that? By what? 2. 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 12 6 times. Okay, what if we're adding? 1/9 plus 5 6. Another way you can do this is to do them vertically, like this. I personally think that's a better way because it's easier to keep track of all your fractions. So, what is the common denominator between 9 and 6? Now, a common denominator would be to just multiply 9 times 6. But then you're gonna have some large numbers, and you're gonna have to reduce it quite a bit. The easiest way is to find the least common denominator between 6 and 9. Jesse, 18. So 18 is my common denominator. So now it's real easy to see what did I do to 9 to make it 18. Multiplied by 2. So I do the same thing to the top, which makes that 2/18. What did I do to 6 to make it 18? Multiplied by 3. So I do the same thing at top, which makes that 15. Now I'm adding. 2 plus 15, 17, over my 18. And 17/18 would be your answer. I want you to do this one by yourself. 2/3 plus 1/4. Two-thirds plus 1/4. Cameron, what'd you get? Yes, 11/12. Now, this is how it is 11/12. We have to find common denominators for 4 and 3, which is 12. Now we have to make two equivalent fractions with the common denominator of 12 on the bottom. So here we multiplied by 4, so we do the same thing at the top, which makes it 8. Here we multiplied by 3, do the same thing at the top, which makes that 3. We have 8/12 plus 3/12 gives us the 11/12. Okay, and there obviously you can't reduce 11/12 because there's no common factors with 11 and 12 besides 1. And obviously, if we divide by 1, it doesn't have any effect on the number itself. Let's look at this one. 7 over 12 minus 5 over 18. What is the common denominator between 12 and 18? Raise your hand. Don't call it out. Brandon, thank you for raising your hand and volunteering. No, that would be a common factor, but not the common denominator. Levi, 36. Common denominator is 36. That's why you went, huh? Yeah. So what did we do to 12 to make it 36, we multiplied by 3. So we do the same thing in the top. Here we multiplied by 2. Do the same thing in the top. Now we have 21 minus 10, 11 over 36.
Wait, how is the 11?
21 minus 10 is 11. Trinity?
If it was like able to reduce, would you reduce it or?
Yes, you always reduce it to simplest form. All right, now, it doesn't change if we have 3 fractions. You have 11 twelfths minus 5 twelfths plus 1 12th. Okay, they already have common denominator, so the first one is to do this, which gives me 11 minus 5 over 12, which is 6 over 12, plus 1 over 12. Now I just take 6 plus 1, which is 7, 7 over 12. You always reduce it if there's common factors. If there's not common factors, there's no way to reduce it. So it's either the answer to your question is you always reduce it, but you don't reduce it like that because there's no common factors. Like for example, I could have 12 25ths. Okay, well 12 has factors, 25 has factors, but they don't have any common factors. So therefore I can't reduce it. It just has to stay 12 over 25. Even though I'd like to reduce it because they're not prime or anything, but you can't because there's not any common factors.
But like during the problem, like there's 6 12ths up there, you wouldn't reduce it?
You could reduce it. The problem you're going to run into once you reduce it there is you're just going to have to put it right back to 6 12ths because you wouldn't have a common denominator. For example, 6 12ths reduces to 1/2. You can't do 1/2 plus 1 12th because they don't have common denominators. So to make it a common denominator, you'd have to take it back to 12 and be 6 12ths. That's the reason I left it, because I knew at this point, I knew here that these were common denominators, so there's no reason to reduce it yet until I get to the end. Jacob? Sure. Brandon? I was just saying 6 plus 1 was 7. Okay. I want you to try this one on your own. 4 ninths plus 5 ninths minus 2 ninths. All right, who has an answer? Lily. Jacob? No, not 2 over 3. I know what you did. You made a subtraction error. Isaiah? 7 over 9. First step is to take 4 plus 5 over 9, which is 9 over 9. You could reduce that to 1, but there's no need to because you have another step still, and that is to subtract 2 over 9. 9 minus 2 over 9 be 7 over 9. And it doesn't reduce. Trinity?
If we, do we have some like this in our homework?
Huh?
Do we have some like this in our homework?
Yep.
If we like already know how to do it and like already have.
Show your work. Lily? Yep. Have one that doesn't have common denominators. You have 3/4 plus 5/16 plus 7/8. Common denominator that doesn't have, the common denominator would be what? 16. So we're going to convert all our fractions to have 16 on the bottom. So what did we do to 4 to make it 16? Multiply by 4, so we do the same thing at the top, which makes that 12. Yes. What do we do to 8 to make it 16? Multiplied by 2, so that's 14. So you add that up, you get 31 over 16. It's an improper fraction, so I have to change it to a mixed number. 16 goes in 31 one time, be 16, remainder 15. Take the 15 and put it over the 16. So 1 and 15 over 16. Isaiah? Sure. Yeah, right here on top. Okay. Your homework. Homework is 5.1. And we're going 8 through 22. 28 through 34. Okay.